Hey guys, welcome to another SRI New Home Showcase. My name is Ainsley. Today we're here at Sora at Jurong Lake Gardens. This is a brand new development that is proudly developed by 𝐖𝐡𝐲 Group as well as KSH Holdings. So for those of you who didn't know, 𝐖𝐡𝐲 Group actually merged together with CEL Developments to create a major powerhouse in the property sector. So these developers have an impressive combined track record of Park Colonia, Copper and Newton, and currently the most notable one being Grand Dunman. And now it's about time for us to go meet our managing partner, Ken Low. Let's go! So Ken, the name Sora, tell us how did the name come about?
So Sora represents sky in Japanese. So I think it's a perfect name for this development because we are embodied with the Asian gardens within Jurong Lake Garden itself. Namely, we have the Chinese garden, the Japanese garden.
Right, it's really like living within the garden itself.
Yes.
Right?
So I think that's how the inspiration came about. But Sora actually has, to me, a deeper meaning across 2 points for residents in Sora. Number one being in the garden itself. They get to enjoy breathtaking unblocked views of the Jurong Lake Gardens. Secondly, it also represents how the residents of Sora get to enjoy endless possibilities over the years as the Jurong Lake District unfolds in front of their homes.
Okay, so Sora is really like living within the garden itself. Tell us a little bit more.
It is more than just a garden. Because Jurong Lake Gardens is labelled as Singapore's national garden. In fact, there are only 3 national gardens in Singapore.
What are 3?
The first one being a botanical gardens, your Gardens by the Bay, and the newest being Jurong Lake Gardens.
Yes. Okay.
So imagine living within a national garden, how this place will be upkept, how it will be beautifully taken care of because it will be a tourist attraction. Currently, both Japanese garden and Chinese gardens are undergoing huge redevelopment to spruce up the entire place itself.
Okay, so just to check, is the whole Jurong Lake Gardens part of the whole hype of Jurong Lake District as well?
In fact, people think that Jurong Lake District comprises only of the business district. Jurong Lake Garden is actually part of this major plan. That's why it's so exciting to see how living within the serenity and the tranquility of the gardens, and yet you get to see how the entire business district grow. Jurong Lake District itself is the largest mixed-use business district outside your city centre. And in fact, we coin it as more than a CBD, a second CBD in Singapore. And I think there's a lot of meaning behind all these names that were given to Jurong Lake District.
Can I just interject and check? How big are we talking about in this whole space?
So the entire development of Jurong Lake District comprises of a total of 410 hectares of land. And that is actually 4 times the size of your Tampines Regional Centre, your Paya Lebar Central, and your Woodlands Central combined together. So to make it clearer to this development of Jurong Lake District, I would actually separate them into the northern part and the southern part. So the northern part is something that I think all of us are very familiar with because over the past years we have seen the building of shopping malls such as GEM, you have Westgate, you have Perenna Business City. So I think in the next 10 to 15 years, government's focus will be on the southern part where it comprises of one of the largest number of white sites in Singapore. White sites are actually like a blank canvas. Developers will usually come in and they will build into a mixed-use development. For example, you may have a plot that comprises of offices, service apartments, hotels, residential, retail components. So it's very exciting to see these white sites that are all sprouting up within Jurong Lake District. So the other part of Singapore that has a lot of white sites is actually in your Marina Bay area. So you can draw reference to how the buildings are coming up. So these are the type of buildings that will come out in Jurong Lake District, and I think in the next 10 to 15 years, Jurong will entirely change its image to match up to what we are seeing in Marina Bay. The sheer size of Jurong Lake District is actually more than 20 times what we have seen in Marina Bay Sands area itself. So that is how large and exciting this entire development is.
So we're standing right here in the model, and I must say that this is something that we have really never seen before. Firstly, it's such a long plot. The architecture is quite different, right? Can you share with me a little bit more about your thoughts?
So I think the elongation of this plot fits perfectly for Sora because of its location. So it allows a total wide span of 300 meters that hugs the entire National Garden. It allows the architect to design the buildings in such a way that we have approximately 76% of the units facing the lake gardens.
Wow, that's quite a view to behold.
I actually like the ripple effect that they have created on the rooftop. So this inspiration came about from the undulating tree line that you see from the lake garden, and also how the shape of the lake that is running through the garden itself. That is how this development flawlessly integrates with the natural elements within the garden. I also like how they have created the different layerings and levels on the roof area. So you can see that there are little stairs here and there to allow you to access to different parts. These spaces that they created gives you some exclusive community spaces where people get to interact in the Sky Garden, which is named Sky 360.
Right.
Yeah, so I think this is a very fantastic design when you have a beautiful product that can withstand the test of time.
Yeah.
That's where your resale value...
I think this is it.
Yes.
This is really beautiful.
So Sora sits on a total land size of close to 200,000 square feet of land.
Okay.
It comprises of a total of 4 blocks. 2 of the blocks are of 12-story high.
Right.
The other taller blocks are of 20-story high. They have a total of 440 units of 1+ study to 5 bedrooms. It is considered very low density for such a large land plot. They have more than 60 facilities sprouting across the entire development.
Okay.
If you walk around the development, you realize that it is designed according to how we are beside the National Garden. Very zen, the materials used, the color, the naming of the facilities. One of the interesting part we see is how you enter through the guardhouse.
Okay.
But yet they tuck away a very grand drop-off arrival area.
It is very grand, yeah.
Within the development. So it's all hidden away from the public eye.
So it's like better flow, right?
Yes, and when you go past the guardhouse, you come into this grand lobby. You actually see your moonlight lobby area.
Yep.
They call it the moon gate atrium, where you have sort of a shelter around, but yet you have internal trees that are growing within the space.
Wow.
Right, so that's where your waiting lounge is. There's a library and a function room. And of course, a very nice feature plant to hold the center stage of this
There's
place.
so much of greens just to embody the whole garden, right?
Yeah, so I think they have engaged EcoPlan, who is one of our favorite landscape architects. The plants that were chosen were also very oriental theme. In fact, when you enter through the central gate over here, with a very tall, majestic gate, like how you see in those European countries where there's a very grand gate that opens up. As you enter inside, you will enter into this bamboo forest. They have glamping sites around there, so families can actually enjoy the nature, the camping in these bamboo forest. As we move along here, you can see even the playground. They name it as a tree house. So it's a very nature-inspired kind of playground. And if you look at the materials used across the entire development, they are using a lot of earthy color. This is the other interesting part where you actually have your clubhouse area. You have your games room, you have your karaoke room, and I like how they name it as the cabin because it immediately links me to those cabin in the woods. Yeah.
Right, I get it.
Yes, this entire theme has been beautifully designed. And of course, facing the National Garden itself is where your swimming pools are. You have a 50-meter slab pool, a play pool, definitely more than enough for 440 households. As you look at this entire boundary, they did it in a very porous feel. It allows the blending in of the National Garden that is just in front of us. And of course, on both sides, we have side gates as well. There's a bicycle park on the other side. The side gate leads you directly into the Jurong Lake Garden. And on the other side, this side, your side gate actually leads you to your Active SG gym, which is a very large facility from the government that you can enjoy as an extended part of your facility.
And so we're here at Sora's 3+ study show unit. This is 1195 square feet. Ken, share with us all the good stuff.
So I like the position of this door because it opens up into the shoe cabinet. So you don't actually have the usual one where people open up, you don't have privacy. So yeah, you can get air ventilation, open it up. And developer is actually providing a very large panel of your distribution box. And you can see how proper this shoe cabinet is. So as we move in here, you can see this is the type of kitchens that most mums will love because of the double panel on both sides for their cooking and preparation of food. More importantly is this glass panel that allows them to have full access to what is happening in the living and dining area, either to interact with their guests or to watch over their kids while they're preparing the food. Then this good-sized kitchen has a lot of cabinetries, both top and bottom on both sides. We have a bomb shelter, a home shelter over here, and a WC at the back. And most importantly, it's naturally ventilated with the large panels of windows. So it's lit close to 1,200 square feet of a 3+ study is actually pretty luxurious in today's context.
That's true.
You can see how efficiently this space is being used. We have a very nice tuck-away dining area that separates from the living. What I like about this living is the 3.2 meters width. It's a very good TV distance to your sofa. The balcony is just about a good size. It's not too big, not much wastage of the space. More importantly is while you are having your chill days at home, the views that you get from the outside of the Lake Gardens is something that I can only imagine for now. And then of course behind us here is actually a study room which the idea has created some ideas to show how you can actually open up the space.
Right.
You can knock it down because this is not in PPVC, right? So you can knock it down, make it into even a larger
Living area. Yeah.
living area.
That's true.
Or you can even do a landscape of a dining, living here, and this area you can convert it into more storages or even a bar counter, right? A lot of flexibility in this space. Ceiling height is pretty tall across all the units in Sora. We are standing at 2.9 meters. It also gives a certain feel of space within this area. I'll show you the rooms.
Okay.
So I like how they have made use of dead spaces, because now over here, you can also see they created storages along the walkway that is usually not used for anything. And then of course we have 2 bedrooms, and one of the key selling points across Sora is the size of the common rooms. They are standing at 9 square meters, and usually we only have about 8 point something square meters for common rooms. So I think it's a very good size for residents in Sora. This again is another highlight where the master bedroom sits on a total of 16 square meters excluding the master toilet. A huge luxury of space, large window panels. You can see the space allows you to even do a dresser table, and I think the wives will love it. Then you have 2 large panels of your wardrobe, and of course, the toilets are naturally ventilated. So I think it's very exciting to come across a development like Sora, where residents get to enjoy the best of both worlds. How often do you come across a development where you live within the National Garden? You get the serenity and the tranquility of this $1 million breathtaking view of the gardens. Yet at the same time, beautifully crafted architecture and landscaping within Sora itself. On the other hand, you get to witness the unfolding of Singapore's largest mixed-use business district outside city centre. More importantly, before the full development of Jurong Lake District, you're actually paying only a fraction of the price of what is being transacted within Jurong East itself. So even a 10-year-old J Gateway resale has already transacted above 2,000 per square foot, and I think Sora should be priced attractively at about the same range. And I think it is a very good entry price for people to hop on this rare product.
Very nice. So if you're in the market and if you are looking and this product just might be for you, we'd like to invite you to come on by to our show flat. The preview date is going to be from the 22nd of June. So come on by, contact your preferred SRA salesperson, and we cannot wait to see you here because the views, the project is just quite amazing. So guys, we'll see you here.